Kh'umbh'a. After the Great Disclosures, a lot had changed, where humans could easily travel from one dimension to another. However, they discovered that no one can penetrate beyond the 12th dimension, and an individual cannot stay in other dimensions longer than 12 minutes, because their celestial layers will begin to deteriorate. The effect is like when a person stays underwater or at a high altitude, which will result in suffocation because of the lack of air. Traveling to other dimensions is like this because it is not their native environment. They travel to other dimensions through dreaming, as they traverse through different realities and realms. Their heartbeats and breathing rhythms changes accordingly. And through breathing rhythmically according to a certain realm, a person will enter the realm of those rhythms. Attention accumulates energies. By focusing on specific vibration, a person is consciously tuning their frequencies into that realm, hence their breathing rhythms and heartbeats will change accordingly. The dimensions are aligned in a hierarchy, where the physical world is among the densest dimensions. Also, when an individual's temples are full of substances from denser dimensions, that is where this person is anchored and will settle there. It is because they have identified these substances as themselves. Then it becomes part of them. These substances are known as Kh'umbh'a. Viewing holistically, however, an individual exists on all 12 dimensions simultaneously. The difference being that they have put more emphasis on one dimension than the other, and therefore have abandoned all other entirely. The current dimension of humans is not a real dimension among the 12, because it was created out of chaos. So, it is just a projection of what is considered a reality. A person can accumulate higher essence of Kh'umbh'a through devotion, faith, and acceptance. You accept what is given to you and maintain it through faith. Whereas devotion includes maintaining an attitude of what has been given to you. You receive insights through contemplation and seeking of understanding. You improve and elevate your consciousness through insights. These insights don't come as a piece of complete information but comes as seeds that need nurturing so they can grow. This nurturing is devotion. Faith means amid trial and tribulation a person will stand still on what is given to them. They will stand still on the part of them that is eternal. Faith doesn't imply blind faith, but it implies that even that which is given to you might have opposing forces that might want to take it away and deviate a person from their path. And by believing what is given to you is the truth, no matter how stupid it might appear, this truth will reveal clearly to you through contemplation. Faith is the will in action. Acceptance also means tolerance and compassion, where a person accepts the reality of the current situation as a fact but doesn't conclude this physical reality as an ultimate and an absolute truth. A person knows that everything is in a constant change and sees the potential possibilities within each moment and that what is true today might not be true tomorrow. Through this, they have then expanded their awareness and allow growth. As the person accumulates higher substance of Kh'umbh'a, they elevate themselves where a transformation takes place within their bodies. They ascend into higher dimensions. This technique was how Ulid was able to ascend into the 12th dimension, on which it is the prime reality of our world, sometimes known as the 12th heaven. However, it was discovered that there was as much chaos as it is on the lower dimensions, hence war and conflicts, because this was once a hidden knowledge, but now is revealed again to all people. Anyone who elevates the contents of their temples can ascend slowly to the 12th dimension. The alignment of these dimensions means different paces of time, where on the 12th dimension time and space are more robust and sophisticated than on other dimensions. One cycle on the 12th dimension is around 12 billion years of the physical world, because the count of one cycle is the lifespan of a star. However, nothing is fixed on the timelines in the sense that those who have elevated themselves can move across timelines and the alternate timelines. This means a person can exist on another dimension for a year, to come back and find out that it has only been a fraction of a second on their native dimension. The emanation of consciousness. The breathing has rhythms, and the heart has a pulse. The heart pumps and supplies blood into an entire body. Blood is the supplier of necessary nutrients for the construction of the body. These nutrients and compounds are what maintains a body in a specific realm. The human understanding of consciousness is still at its infant. Here we will expand it a little further. Consciousness, as understood by many, is singular, local, and quantified, but it is not so. Consciousness is the totality of the environment and the projector of that environment. And thus when consciousness manifests, it emanates its surroundings and its hosts according to the nature of that place. Consider a light filtered through stained glass or colored glass. The light will manifest according to the color of the glass. So, what a person is experiencing as a physical reality is an emanation of their consciousness. This emanation of consciousness on a certain medium is the seat of consciousness. This emanation of consciousness lays a pattern and rhythms that are the foundation of what an individual experiences as a reality. These rhythms and patterns are the flowers of consciousness. Thus, their physical bodies follow that emanated pattern from their consciousness, hence a certain reality is then based on specific body rhythms and cycles. When a baby is conceived, a consciousness has tuned in those specific rhythms and pulse so that it can come or manifest in that realm. When Rudy was in the ocean of consciousness, he experienced multi-layers of consciousness. These are different manifestations of a single consciousness on the different projected planes of existence. When an individual is dreaming, they simply drift from one layer of consciousness to another according to the substance on which it is dipped into. Thus, a mind is a product of consciousness, and not as many assume that consciousness is the product of the mind. The manifestation of consciousness on a specific realm means that all memories are only based on that specific plane of reality. This is to say past, present, future. And the alternative exists all at once as a result of an emanated consciousness, and thus, when consciousness manifests on as a plane of reality, it emanates all these spaces and times simultaneously. Then it subdivides to experience one timeline according to its pace of motion. All these planes of realities and realms are connected by interdimensional portals which are known as trees of consciousness. Once a consciousness emanates on a plane of existence, it will reverberate, as in a person will begin to live through different timelines and alternative timelines to refine the outcome of their interaction with that plane of reality. This is the refinement of a soul. They will keep on reincarnating on similar experiences to elevate their response and interaction of their environment until they elevate. That means they will refine and accumulate more Kh'umbh'a. These Kh'umbh'a are the fruits of consciousness. By attaining the 12 fruits of consciousness, a person will be able to penetrate beyond the 12th dimension,